Hello, and welcome to another edition of eLumen. What am I doing? In this video, we'll be going over how to submit your annual plan in the eLumen system. So first things first, we'll want to go to the eLumen test site. I always recommend that you play around in the test site first to get comfortable before moving over to the production site. So if you go to your web browser and enter in the following address, sccollegetest.elumenapp.com/elumen, and that will take you to the district's login page. Enter your credentials and log in. Now, when you're logged into eLumen, you always want to make sure that you've selected the appropriate role. You're going to want to submit your annual plan using the department coordinator role. Once I click that department coordinator role, you can see I've got this red bubble letting me know I've got 7 messages in my inbox. We'll get to that in just one moment, but first you're going to need this information in order to complete your annual plan, and that information is your goals and objectives that you've entered in on your departmental profile page. As a reminder, to get there, click on Org Management, Profile, and from here you're going to want to print this page and save it as a PDF, and that is because you're going to want to copy the text from this section which has all of your goals and objectives. But the way that eLumen is built, if I try to copy any of this text by clicking and dragging, it wants to move the goals and objectives as if I'm reordering them. And so the only way to get that information in a format where you can copy and paste is to print to PDF. So I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control P. I'm going to make sure that I have the destination as Save as PDF. And I'm going to click Save, and that will ask me where do I want to store that file on my computer. I've already done this and stored it on my desktop. So I'm going to bring that up by going to Adobe. And now I've got all of that information in a PDF format. This is a good way too to create an archive of your goals and objectives if they change from year to year. You can also do that in eLumen by submitting your annual plan, but this is a good way of just getting an overview of how your profile page looks from year to year, and you can document any changes that way. But from here, you should be able to copy any of the text from your objectives, and you'll need to be able to do this to complete your annual plan in eLumen. Going back to eLumen, I'm going to go to my inbox, and from there you'll see 3 tabs: Workflows, Annual Plans, RFIs. For those that are curious, RFI means Request for Information. We're not currently using that right now, but I get a lot of questions about this, so I thought I'd share that little tidbit. So from here, I'm going to select Annual Plans, and you can see I have a number of annual plans waiting to be completed for fall 2021. This is because I have launched 2 draft annual plans to every entity on the test site. And so I have 3 entities associated with my account. 4 entities associated with my account with 2 templates each. I should see the number 8 up here. I have the number 7 because I've already submitted one. So I'm going to go into the annual plan that I want to complete. I'm going to complete the one for institutional effectiveness and research. When I click respond, you'll see that I've already entered in some draft information in the annual plan template. And for this year's template, there are only 4 questions. Are there new activities planned for the academic year? If so, please list any new activities here. What are your highest priority activities for the academic year? Why are these activities the highest priority for the department? What impact will these activities have on your department? What activities do you have planned for the academic year that are important but not necessarily a primary priority? And finally, what activities do you have planned for the academic year that would be nice to have completed but have little to no immediate impact on the department? So you can see how these questions are structured. You would want to have access to each of your goals and objectives, copy and paste each objective into the appropriate section of the annual plan template. Once you've done that, now you have an opportunity to associate any SLOs with any of your annual plan responses. So let's say I want to add or associate an SLO to my response in the first question of the annual plan. I would select Add SLO, and it brings up any SLOs, SAOs, or PSLOs I have associated with institutional effectiveness and research. For the time being, I only have access to institutional student learning outcomes. If I wanted to associate any one of these, I'd go down to the subcategory. Let's say I wanted to add something in the think category. I'm just going to randomly select one here. And now it's going to associate this creatively used concepts to make learning relevant institutional student learning outcome with my annual plan response. Click close. And you can see it's now added here in my annual plan. If I have a resource request that I want to associate with my plan response, I can click Add Resource Request here. This is not to replace the college's official resource request process, but this is important so that we can see alignment and get a big picture view of all of the requests that are coming forward. So minimally, it's asking for a resource name. I'm going to say SLO coordinator. I'm going to say this is for personnel. And we're going to ask for a little bit of funding here. So we say $15,000. If I want to attach a file, and this will be required for requesting resources within the eLumen system, you're going to want to attach a file here, and the file that you attach here is going to be your official resource request form that you've completed. So how do we get there? I'm going to step away from eLumen just for a moment to show you how we get there. From the college's main website, go to About SCC, hover, don't click, hover over Collegial Governance, Planning and Institutional Effectiveness Committee, expand the menu under Resource Allocation, and you can click this Resource Request Form link to get the official and current resource request form. Complete that form, submit it, and you'll have a record or PDF version of that form. It is that file that you'll want to upload here when you attach a file to a resource request. You're not limited to one. You can have multiple resource requests associated with any of your responses for question number one, what's new. Similarly, for any of the other questions, you can add SLOs, you can add resource requests. When you've got everything set, save as draft. Just to be sure everything saves properly, you can always come back in, click respond, and see all of the responses you've already entered in. When everything is done and complete, click submit. A word of caution: once you click submit, you will not be able to edit the plan further. Much like some of the restrictions we have for curriculum, that is so true on the annual plan component as well. If you submit a plan in error, please reach out to me. We will have another video to show how to delete your plan if you need to, and more details to come on that. So I'm going to submit my plan now. See, it gave me this little error. Amount must be a number, and I entered in a comma there. So numbers only in the amount component. Click submit. And now you'll see my number has dropped to 6, and I no longer see that annual plan template in my queue of things to respond to. To see my annual plans, I can go to Org Management. Once there, you'll get this blue bump icon. Click that, and it'll bring up a list of all the annual plans that you've completed already. So I'm going to click on this link. That's the one I just submitted. You can see all of my information is there. So that is how to submit your annual plan in eLumen. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me at Volker_Aaron at sccollege.edu.